Hey, this is Mira Beck, founder of Overnight Success Publishing and host of Overnight Success TV. And on today's episode, I have a special guest for you. This is my friend, my brother, Tim Johnson, who is the king of connection. You've never met anyone that can connect people better than Tim. And co-founder of Whytology. So Tim, welcome to the show.
Man, I appreciate you having me.
Glad to have you. You finally came to check out the studio, and it's an awesome time. So let's just dive right into it, man. I want you to share with our viewers your story. Where did you come from? How did you grow up, the environment, and take us to now?
You know, I started, brother, I was 6 years old, and I turned the TV on to watch my daddy learning that he was a serial killer.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and I think one of the things I want to change, and this is some stuff that just recently came up, after 40 years, Mitch Maccabee, a really good friend of mine, sends me a newspaper article. There was a newspaper article just put out in Oklahoma State Times about the 40-year anniversary of one of the most horrific slayings there ever was in Oklahoma. So what happened is I watched my dad get, he was executed on death row in 1995, but in 1978, he decided to kill 6 people in a steakhouse over $1,200.
Wow.
And then about, which I thought was Christmas Eve, because that's always the story I was told, which was the farthest from the truth. I guess just a few weeks before that, he actually killed a mother, a father, and a baby on the side of the road. I don't know if it was to steal their car or to do that. Well, ended up, that was pretty rough. So, you know, I thought life was starting to be bad. I was raped, I was molested in my first foster home. You know, my sister got pregnant at 13. One of my other sisters I was in another foster home with decided to commit suicide, you know, 3 days after I tried everything, let me be honest. You know, her and I were like rabbits when we were kids. We loved each other, you know, because you really didn't have family. So it was really the only family I had. Come to find out she had AIDS.
Wow.
And at 16, one of my best friends, he was an older gentleman than me, but he actually killed him. He actually shot his dad with a hollow point bullet, you know, over me and some of my friends. So it became pretty kind of weird, kind of stuff to just keep following me. So as my mother says, I was born on October 28th. On the 31st, I rose. So I don't know if it's on that. And then joined the carnivals and joined the Army for a while. And, you know, but the epiphany came in my story was one of the guys, I had the me syndrome. I'm like, oh my God, my life is so bad, my life's so bad. Why? I ended up hanging around a lot of Vietnam vets, and I think my mentor at the time, he's like, dude, shut up. You sound like a little kid.
Yeah.
You stop crying, stop doing it. So I went to a veterans hospital just outside of Harrisburg, and I listened to 50-some guys tell me the craziest stories. And of course, you know how I say it. I use more profanity, and I won't now, but I am not as screwed up as you guys. I'm just not. I mean, but if they could do it, what was I really crying about? I mean, I really had no reason to cry, because what a lot of them share with me, you know, and I've been able to travel throughout the world, is I was just in Bangladesh a few months ago, playing soccer with a bunch of 10-year-olds, and you watch how they live. And really, I live in the 90th percentile of the world. In any college, that's an A.
Sure.
Okay, so I took a lot of the lessons that I learned in life just to become successful.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't want that for my kids. I didn't want that for my grandbabies. You know, my third grandbaby is now going to be born here, you know, later this year. So yeah.
That's awesome. So I just can't help but just, you know, if you think that you have a really bad life and growing up and you blaming everybody around you for, you know, where you are today, I think that this story can probably put it in perspective. And one of the things that I'm just, you know, glad to hear that you're positive on is looking at the stuff that happened in your life and using it as a learning experiences, as things that moved you along, as things that are responsible for you being the way you are today. Because if anything else happened differently, you would have been a different person today too, right? So,
100%.
So just being, you know, thankful for things that happened in the past, no matter how crappy they may have been. When I came here, like, you know, I got basically all my money stolen, left in New York, didn't speak English, $200, you know, in my pocket at that point. And I thank those son of a guns every Thanksgiving, you know, for the last 20 years, because if they didn't drag me in here and took all my money, I would have never been where I am. I would have never met the people I've met. And I'm just, you know, grateful for that, even though it sucked going through it. I'm pretty sure when you were going through your stuff, it was, you know, 100 times worse, but you overcame it, and you learned from things that made you stronger. So just, you know, I don't want to beat that horse, but look at the stuff that happened in your life growing up and now, as things that are just happening for a reason. And one day you're gonna look back and you're gonna figure out what the reason was.
I'm thankful for those though.
Yeah,
Because that's what connected you and I,
that's right.
right? Because you had some similar stuff from your childhood. I did, Maria, you know, Clint. We always say it's a story that we're afraid to tell everybody. You know, we'll tell our girlfriend, we'll tell our wife, or we'll tell our best friend.
Yeah.
But when we don't share that with our clients, right, they might be going through something similar.
For
And
sure.
if you can share with them how you went from being zero to a hero, why not share that with them?
That's right.
Right?
Exactly.
That's how we connected.
And that's what the Overnight Success TV is all about, just interviewing people about their story so the viewers can relate. You know, you're going to relate differently to different people. But my hope for every interview is that there's someone watching that needs to hear the message, the interview that we are doing this very second. So that's my big passion, is just getting people's stories out in the open. And so I appreciate that you actually seeing that, and appreciate it as well. So, okay, so you got through all this, you grew up, you move on. How did you become the king of connections and the king of cheap? You used to have a brand that you were really big in getting stuff from China and stuff like that. Like, tell me about some of your business ventures and the stepping stones that got you to where you are today.
You know, so I started looking at a lot of clubs. Why were clubs so, like, why were people joining gangs? Why were people joining motorcycle clubs? Why were people so connected to that kind of stuff? And I'm like, so I went out, and what I understood, there's three really there's social capital, there's health capital, and then there's wealth capital. And wealth capital is where you learn on your business, okay? But one of the mentors, Tom Shaft, is one of the things he talks about all the time is we can work on our financial capital.
Yeah.
But you really only need 10 relationship capital, okay, that refer you business. Because like you said, we're only one person away from making $1 million. So would I rather have 10,000 clients, or would I rather have 10 or 20 really good relationship guys that I can go out? So I've connected myself on solving problems for a lot of people just based on my friends. Because if their stuff works and I know what it does, why not just automate that process? So we always talk about living a lifestyle. Why not live that lifestyle the way we want to? Just like with your stuff. I mean, I can refer you pretty regularly, and it doesn't matter. But what's interesting and most people don't see, and I'll give you an example, just like the guerrilla marketing event. I called you 4 days ahead of time, and you moved your entire schedule because of relationships.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But I've also, now I'm starting to bring other people here that you really do help their business. You help create the videos, you help create the storylines, okay? And all I did was make a phone call.
Yeah.
How many people would love to make money?
So on that note, how do you get to that point? Because having the circle of people and the network, like they say, the size of your net worth is the size of your network, right? Or the other way around. But someone that started their own business, they barely started, promoting their business, meeting people at meetups and chamber events, and traveling, going to seminars. How did you get to the point where you surrounded yourself with all those people that you can make all the connections? How does someone start doing that?
Well, start going to chamber events, start going to business innovator events, but find out what their customers are saying about them. Vet them. Make sure that if you're going to make a referral, strongly vet them.
Yeah.
Go through their process, understand it. If they don't want to, if they're from a mindset, oh my God, I'm not going to share my stuff with you, then you already know that they're coming from a money mindset. They're not about a relationship mindset with their customers.
Yeah.
Okay. And cream kind of rises to the top. Let's be honest, right? If you go join masterminds, there's a lot of people that are only there for the money.
Yeah.
They're not there for the relationships.
Sure.
Okay, so going through, I understood, listen, what kept me off the streets as a kid and what kept me out of a lot of trouble is the relationships I built that kept me safe.
Yeah.
That's why gangs do nothing more than protect their clan to come in and do that. Well, if people, here's the thing, buyers are liars. Okay, let's be honest, right? They're going to lie to you about what they're about to do.
Yeah.
Then you're going to spend 90 minutes with them. Then they're going to take everything that you just told them to do.
Yeah.
Then they're going to go farm it somewhere else and lie to you again. Then they're going to disappear.
Wow.
So why spend that time?
true.
Okay. So if you understand, there's features and benefits to everything. That's how most people sell. I'm not looking for features and benefits in my friends. I'm looking at what are the consequences that are going on in their life? Where is it appearing in their life? What are the questions that they're asking and trying to solve, and connect them with that? Because it's a whole different level. Okay, it's like the UPS commercial. You open your business, okay, but not once did you look to your friends like, dude, okay, you can go down and get a postcard, but When you sell to everyone, you sell to no one.
Yeah.
But if I know the pain they're in, and I know that person that can solve it, really simple, I'd rather just connect those two people together with over 90% close rate and connecting people, because I understand their pain. I understand what they're going through. Because I'm not afraid to share my story, like, but I get it, right? But I also don't have an ego when it comes to like, hey, I need this, who do I go to? And when you do that for them, they, oh, you know what? Dude, I might be the best videographer, but I might actually have a course writer over here, or I might have, you know, hey, let's be honest, you know, this might be too big, but I have someone that I can refer you to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and there's a big power in that, because usually I function the same way. If somebody referred me to somebody and they already told me they're solid and whatever, you know, I mean, what else do you have to go by, unless, you know, when you're doing Google search, maybe then you don't know, but when it's a personal one-on-one connection, there's a lot of trust being put into it. And I love what you said about vetting people and, you know, the connections that you're actually making. So it is people that you've done their business with, or you've been through their course, that you look at their reviews or talk to other people that have done business with them. So maybe focus on the lower number, but really high quality people that you surround yourself with, and get to know people, do sit downs, one-on-ones, go to lunches, like invest some time into those relationships, right? And then that in turn, over time, it will grow into a network that that's sizable.
Like the foster dad I have now is like one of the best foster dads you could ever have. I mean, was head of the disaster relief program. He does a lot of Christian organizations. But my dad started me on understanding budgets, understanding all this stuff. At some point, I had to figure out that my dad probably, when I started making more money than him, probably wasn't the guy that I want to take advice from.
Sure.
Because I wouldn't be growing. So the difference is when you go out, you are the 5 people you hang out with.
Yeah.
But if the 5 people you hang out with actually increase something in your life, they reduce something in your life, they improve this or simplify it, okay, and there's tangibles, and they're making more money in that industry, they're probably a good person to surround yourself with, because it's not, anytime, here's the easiest way to do. When someone says, I do this, I do that, if they always start with I, run. Because you already know, it's all about them.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's just an easy and simple way. You know, in our industry, you know as well as I do, everybody says, I do this, and they puke on you. And not once ask, hey, how can I reduce this in your life? How can I simplify this? Who do I know that will do that? And when you go with that compassion toward it, okay, that's what connects them with their clients. Because at the end of the day, right, we understand that misery does love misery.
Sure.
Okay? You don't have to be misery to solve misery. And when you can actually solve that main pain point that's going on in their life, you will create a referral partner for the rest of your life, because every time they run into something, they're going to come to you.
That's really awesome. And so you mentioned that you are the 5, or the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So one of the homeworks for you, look at the 5 people that you are surrounded with right now, right? And you know, if it happens to be your family, you're going to have some tough decisions to make.
Well, we're not saying to change your friends.
Yeah, well, you know,
take
sometimes it may, that's what it may take.
But how much money are they making? Let's be honest. Take the circle, figure out how much money they're making.
And most likely, the average is what you have in your bank, right? So, but yeah, so, you know, if there's a lot of negativity in your life, and you have a spouse or, you know, brother or sister, whatever, even parents, you know, sometimes, you do have to reevaluate how much time you end up spending with them.
Listen, my mom has always, my mom, if she doesn't get her check on the 5th of the month, is generally calling me. Okay, you work too much. I don't really work. What they haven't figured out is I get to travel, I get to refer my friends, I get to go on vacations with my friends, and I get paid for it.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a great lifestyle. So I want to touch on the new venture you have, the Whytology. Tell me about, you know, it's based on your why, obviously, but talk to me a little bit, or to us a little bit, about what Whytology is all about. And what is the benefit that people get out of it?
Well, you know, and you and I have both been through a lot of different classes, and man, it made my brain hurt. I apologize, I don't have a PhD in college, but I do have a PhD in common sense. And when I was going through it, what I understood is advertising companies spend billions of dollars to figure out what their clients do, why they do it, all the psychographic demographics. And about the time that I was trying to figure that out, I'm like, man, my brain really hurts. So when I was in a class, I decided to come up, I'm like, okay, if the benefit statement, and this came out of one of Tom Schaff's trainings, was if I figured out what do I reduce, what do I improve, what do I increase, and what do I simplify in somebody's life, okay, so mine. If I want to reduce stress in my life, what do I do?
Gotcha.
Okay, if I want to improve making more money, what do I do? Okay, and it's a simple mathematical formula. If I want to work 20 hours a week, okay, that's 408, and you times it by 240, and I want to make $250,000, I got to make $1,000 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay, the thing is, we don't want to look at our budgets. We don't want to look at that. Okay, and why are we doing it? Okay, like when you and I talked a while back, you wanted to spend more time with your kids. You're like, bro,
Right.
I have 3 beautiful grandbabies now. Bro, I didn't during my 20s and 30s. I really did miss out on my kids' life, and it hurt. It made a major disconnect for me. So when I started to understand that, then I started looking at Ford and all these people spending billions and billions of dollars. Why would I not look at what do I do to simplify, improve, increase, and simplify in my clients' lives? Okay, if I could get to the core value of where the pain was showing up in their life, what's the consequences, and what are the questions they're asking now become what I do for a living, and I can connect it with that. And it's a little more in depth like that, but when you get to that level, right, because you understand, when people are emotional, they buy.
Yeah, for sure.
And if the logic actually does solve the problem, okay, and here's the thing, like when you were talking about being trusted, now when I refer my friends, I just shorten the sales cycle by 12 months.
Yeah.
Because they don't get to need to know you. And then I'm going to send out 7 or 8 emails, okay, and then I'm going to have a calendar link in there, which is just nothing more than an appointment scheduler. If they didn't understand why I connected them, they can click that calendar and get on, why did you connect me with this guy?
Cool.
And now I'm telling them why you're a badass, why they want to do business, and how it's going to simplify, reduce this through Success TV.
And that really would apply to any business out there, right? If you're in a business to provide some sort of service or sell a product to a customer or client, you can take any of those 4 points and ask those 4 questions.
100%.
And
because if you know that, if you go in, you're telling people you're going to spend the next 9 months trying to tell them what I do or what you do.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
What do you do that simplifies something in my life that would make me want to pull out my credit card and work with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you need to figure out first what makes them tick, right? I'm assuming some people it's money, so if they can save money, then they'll take your solution.
Well,
some people it's time, so if they can get more time to do whatever, then that would be one of their.
One of my other partners says there's really 3 investments. I can show you how to make more money.
Yeah.
I can actually give you back your time if you'll listen. But the one thing that I can't do for people is change their mindset around it.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's real 3 investments, and again, I'm constantly training with stuff. Okay, you can show your clients how to, give less time. You can teach them how to make more money. But if they don't take the book off the shelf or they don't invest in themselves, okay, and I'll be an example. It's funny how many businesses I go into and they want to tell me, I'll just do my video editing. Let me explain how painful. You remember that call?
Yeah, I do.
This was a very painful situation. I said, Mira, I'll just do it myself. And of course, let me explain. I was in my office for about 4 days, and not once did I figure out how to use Final Cut Pro. It was heartbreaking. I could have spent 4 days on the phone and should have just paid for it, which would have saved me time, would have saved me money. The one thing that at that time, 4 years ago, if you remember, I wasn't ready to change.
Yeah.
And imagine if I would have done what I was doing 4 years ago, imagine where Whytology would be now.
For sure. And I think the point in there is really look at some of the tasks you do during the day and see whether or not what you're doing is justifying your hourly rate. So maybe one of the exercises we could ask them to do today is figure out how much money you want to make and how many hours you want to work per year, and then divide it and realize what's your time worth. So if you are going to work a whole year, and that is about 2,080 hours in a working year, and you want to make $1 million, you need to be charging at least $500 an hour.
Right.
Now, is you're editing little videos or running errands, going to supply stores, whatever, is that worth $500 an hour?
Nope.
Probably not. So figure out the task, like in your case, selling. You can sell a $100,000 program, and that's worth the investment of a few hours of your time to make that money. But running around or editing or doing whatever task you can outsource is definitely not, right? So I think it's a good exercise for people.
And another exercise you do too is like, what's the 9 things that accessorizes your business that you can already offer because they already trust you? Okay, people, if you can give 9 of your other friends, right? Let's just in video editing. Let's say you might have a graphic designer, you might have another video editor, you might have another magazine subscription.
Yeah.
And if you guys can enter a circle and you have 9 strategic partners and you make it really easy while they're on the phone to do that, you now have a whole bunch of mailbox money that you even thought possible.
So really the point when you say accessorize, we're talking about selling more stuff to the same people, right?
Yeah.
So figuring out
What they need.
Exactly. It's always, the hardest thing is always or the most expensive thing is to get the new customer, but then adding more stuff to it. And that's a great advice. And you should do that right now too, I think. So as far as Whytology, if somebody wants to get to know you better or get some more information about Whytology, how can you get, is there a website to it or is there email or what do you want to do?
We haven't done it yet. This became a new concept.
Gotcha.
People kept asking me, why was I selling more? Why was I out doing more? And I understood there was, like I said, it was 3 capitals. And there was social capital, human capital, and there was this financial capital. So a lot of them wanted to know, how was I doing this on autopilot? Well, probably 4 years ago, I went with Lee Golf and some of my partners, and I'm like, dude, how do I make JVing the simplest way? Well, there was Fix Your Funnel. Or there's other ones too, okay? Why can't I just, connect? If you need a book, then I'm going to connect you with a book. If you need business auto tech, I'm going to connect you to Lee. If you need video, let me hook you to Mira. If you need AV, Mira again. Okay, the difference is I just didn't want to work that hard. So I just found my 9 that I like because I know their stuff's really good. They can go to timothyrjohnson.com. Okay, there's some stuff rolling out. I created worksheets that were dumbed down, and I don't mean, we're not saying dumb, but a lot of times simplify is a way better word. But I just think I created an acronym called STUPID. Okay, it's smart, talent, unique people want to be more in demand.
That's cool.
But we have no idea. So I'm a business development director for Stupid Entrepreneurs through webinars, stages, and other processes where I can strategically partner with the right people. What I understood is that when you really do dumb it down and your audience actually understands what you do, because most businesses you go into, people are in the wrong positions. And if you actually went in and interviewed every single one of them, every one of them is different. Their culture's different, their mission's different. They really don't know. So when you actually dumb it down, so in less than 30 seconds, you can tell somebody instead of trying to explain to them for 8 minutes, because 30 seconds after you start talking, they're checking out.
Yeah, sure.
Your mission statement should be a 30-second spiel that really comes out, tells people what you do and what you connect with. And the minute you do that, everything from your admin to your CFO, right down to the CEO, right down to the person that answers the phone, if it's all pretty congruent, okay, and if that person calls up, okay, you're talking about saving time, okay, I mean, you can automate everything from the coffee run right down to, hey guys, in the morning, you guys mind on your way in, we need these 9 things this morning.
Yeah, that's really cool. So we'll post your link and stuff above the video, and then as you add stuff to it, you can add it to it and share with the viewers. So let's do a little rapid fire. I'm really interested in hearing who are some of the big influencers in your life.
There's a brother of mine, Tom Chef. He was a corporate trainer. I mean, he just it was funny. I
love Tom.
Tom's an awesome guy. What was funny is all these people tell me they're the best salesmen in the world, and guess what training they were in? You kind of know you're in the right epiphany place when you do that. There was Clint Arthur was another. He actually helped me get out of my comfort zone. I did 26 local and national, and I've even done some international TV.
That's cool.
So it's about elevating your status to being something, which really does connect with you. If you hang around a different status of people, charitable events, it's not always about what they want from you, it's how they can assist you.
Sure.
If someone says, I need 20 bucks, run. Hey, here's 20 bucks. Okay, how can I help you? How can we grow together?
That's cool.
Okay, there's a book called The Miracle Morning. I started getting up at 5 a.m. The guy actually had a car accident and died, but what he figured out is like most of the centenarians and most of the guys that live to be 100 and do all this kind of stuff have a morning ritual that they get up at 5 a.m. and literally you have no noise. No one's bothering you.
Beautiful, I know.
It's that 2 or 3 hours that you can get 90% of the things you need done. The rest of the day is going to be part of that.
Yeah, and that's actually awesome. I'm definitely not a morning person, but the times where I committed to doing the 5 o'clock in the morning, it's unbelievable how from 5 to 7 or so before the kids wake up and the whole house wakes up, how productive you can get. And sometimes it's just if you read in the morning, that's the awesome time to start getting your brain going and getting you motivated, and then
Yeah.
just hit the ground running.
Well, it's one of
So-
those things when you go to sleep. I learned a long time ago, if you keep a journal next to your bed, like here's everything that I need to get done, and here's all the places I have to go, you sleep better. You don't need to sleep because it's not
That's
going
right.
through your
The
brain.
noise is gone, and you
Okay.
can focus. So do a brain dump on the paper. Yeah.
Do the brain down. And then in the morning, how do I get it done? Or what things on that list are the $500 an hour things?
Sure.
Or here's a thing that I can hand off to my assistant or one of my staff members, they can get that done,
Yeah.
so that I can concentrate on the revenue, the relationship building, the stuff that is what I call social capital, so that we're making more money for them and they're making more money
Yeah,
for us.
that's awesome. I did found out that I can get up at 5 if I go to bed by 10. If I'm up till 1 in the morning, it was really tough. So that would be one tip for people that are not morning people. Get to bed a little earlier, and that may help with that. But it's awesome how when you get up early, by noon, you feel like you've done it all.
Yeah.
If you get up late, 8, 9 o'clock, whatever, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you feel like you haven't done anything.
Well, if you take a
And-
sombrero at 12 to
Yeah.
2, you've already worked 7 hours, take a sombrero, go back and finish up a few
Yeah.
things you need to do.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
But put dates to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because an idea
Specific,
without a
yeah.
date is a dream.
Yeah, that's a good one. So, Tim, a couple of questions to wrap it up. What is your big why? Why do you do what you do? Why do you get up in the morning at 5, travel, do all that stuff that you do in your life? Why do you do that?
I think God gives us a mission. When I actually realized that what God gave me was a gift, all the bad stuff that I went through that people say, I have people come and they go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I go, for what? Why are you sorry? Well, you went through all that. I'm not.
Yeah.
Because when I tell my story, why are you sitting here talking to me now? What is it that I can do or show you or share with you, okay, which is my own healing mechanism, okay? Because if you can actually show people what's possible and you connect what simplifies and what does that, that's my why. Plus, I have 3 beautiful children. I got 3 beautiful grandbabies.
That's awesome.
My wife and all that kind of stuff. And when you wake up and you're leaving a legacy, like what truly do you want to leave?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If there's 1,000 people at my funeral, awesome.
Yeah.
But I want them to party. I don't want them to cry.
Yeah,
I want them to know that I actually had an impact in life.
sure.
And when you do, there's the greats. Martin Luther King, you got Malcolm X, you got, the presidents, Lincoln. And people made pivotal things. And what you don't realize, you can change the life of one person that become one of those people.
That's really cool. And lastly, what is your personal definition of success?
How do you change the world and people that you connect with? Because when you make them successful, you don't have to worry about it. And you and I have been on this path.
Yeah.
Even from the first mastermind we've been on, you've seen me grow, I've seen you grow. And you've concentrated on mine, that's why I'm here. I've concentrated on yours, we just joined. You need to know this person, you need to know that person.
Yeah.
When you surround yourself with that, to me, that's what I call relationship ROI. I don't care how much money it is.
Yeah.
Money is a byproduct. Okay, but when I have great I go to dinner, someone says, oh, you must be really lonely on the road. Brother, that's the farthest thing from the
Yeah.
truth, because I hang around the right people.
Yeah, for sure.
And if I can connect our audience, if there's somebody in this thing that we can connect them, they're going through something, leave a comment in the chat box. If they need to know, somebody else in the business, because we're all one step away from that.
That's
If that's
really cool.
something I can help with people, I love it.
Yeah, I love that. So if you have whatever your challenge is in your life, your business, connection you're looking for, type it in the box below in the comments, and let's start some conversation and see who knows who and how we can connect people. It'll be pretty awesome. Yeah. So Tim, thank you so much. I hope you guys got something out of it. I definitely did. I learned some new things, a few new things I still didn't know about you. So thank you for taking the time to come over. Every time we do this show, I'm going to close it with a plea that you actually do something with the information we just covered. Otherwise, this was not a waste of time, because I enjoyed your company, but we could have had this chat over a beer somewhere else.
Can I share one thing before we close?
Yes.
Guys, listen, there's one thing with the mentors and the rich people that we've learned. That's masterminding with you, Mira, there's really only 3 investments in life. There's time, money, and change. That became from one of my mentors, Tom Chef. He said, listen, we can show them how to make more success.
Yeah.
We can give them their time back, 1,440 minutes a day. Okay, that came from
Yeah.
another buddy.
Yeah.
We can show them how to make more money, but the one thing you and Mira and I can never do is we cannot make you change to want to do what it takes to have success. We can show you, we can share with you, but it's in your mindset that you get up, you take action. An idea without a date is a dream. So start putting dates. No one climb Mount Everest one step at a time.
Yeah.
Start hanging around a different type of people that are successful.
That's right.
Because that's the one thing. Everything else can be taught. The one thing we can't teach is change.
Yeah, that's awesome. Perfect closing statement. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, spending time watching this episode. Hopefully you got something out of it. And I'm looking forward to the next episode. And until then, wake up and be successful.